You're listening to Access Paranormal on Access Northwest Radio. This evening's show was pre-recorded on Monday the 14th of September 2020, prior to any local lockdown restrictions being enforced.
Hello and welcome to Access Paranormal. My name's Jamie Williams, and with me again in the studio is James Anthony.
Hello Jamie, how are you today?
I'm fine, thanks very much. James, and yourself?
I'm not too bad. Yeah, I've been a little bit tired, but it's nice to be here as always. And we've got an absolute jam-packed show lined up today, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Yeah. So who have we got coming up?
Well, first of all, we've got Stewart Dawson from Simply Ghost Nights.
Yeah.
Then we've got Liz Waugh on from GhostQuest Paranormal,
GhostQuest
of course.
Paranormal, indeed. Yeah.
And then we've also got the third part of The Secret Location.
The Secret Location. Now, to remind the listeners, you was given a challenge by me, which was to go on your own to a secret location to do an investigation. Now, you didn't go on your own, but actually it worked out really well because it was a fantastic invest, wasn't it?
Well, for the first time, for the first one we've done, it definitely was, yeah. And it's like, it started off like, I'm not sure about this, and then as soon as we got into it, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
And now listeners who listen to the show regular will have heard the first two parts of that investigation last week. Mm-hmm. So this is the third and final part. And what we've done is we've decided, haven't we, to do it as one long investigation rather than separating it up.
Yeah.
And I'm some of the listeners may know, obviously, the show is we pre-record the show in advance. So one of the good things is that we've been able to spend a bit of time listening through to obviously to the investigation. So I've already heard it, and I can't wait for everyone else to hear it because it is quite exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in it, So for those out there, you're going to really enjoy it, and please listen out for things in between the gaps as well. And
obviously, if you're listening to the show and you hear something, you hear a sound, or you think you hear a voice that isn't one of the guys who's actually taking part in the recording, then you can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us with that, or with your ghost stories or paranormal experiences. I'm going to ask you what the email is. Don't forget.
info.accessparanormal@gmail.com.
There we go. You got it right, eh? So who have we got on the interview list first today, Jamie?
Well, first we've got Stewart Dawson from Simply Ghost Nights, one of the nicest people you could meet.
Hi, Jamie. Okay, then.
Yeah, long time no hear.
How are you keeping?
I'm doing fine, thanks very much. And how about you? Especially with the lockdown, have you done much?
No, we have not done any since March, since we went into lockdown, really. And we've got a few books for October, but you never know what's around the corner here, what they're announcing. So, fingers crossed, we'll get them done for October.
Brilliant. So, Stuart, can you tell us a little bit about your group, Stuart?
Yeah, Simply's been going 10 years this year. We do events almost on a weekly basis all around the country. We're Yorkshire based, and we go as far as Scotland, as well far down south as Devon. We've been obviously to Mill Street. We go to Wales. So we should go all over the country, investigating and hopefully finding paranormal evidence.
Yeah, and you've got your wife Rose who comes along with you as well, which is really nice person.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she enjoys it as well. We both work really well together, and the team we've got behind it as well. We're quite fortunate in that respect. Everyone's we're all like-minded, in the way we want the company to go.
Mm-hmm. And
as well as we guests, we're kind of hands-on with guests as well, and we try and guide them through investigations.
I was just going to say to you then, Stuart, tell us a little bit about, when you go on your ghost investigations, what you do, when you get there. I mean, obviously you've got to organise it, book it and everything else. How do you go about, once you get to the location, what happens?
Well, as soon as we get to the location, we meet the manager of the location, like yourself, Jamie, when you're there. Mm-hmm. Have a little quick walk around, the do's and don'ts that you want us to follow. But most importantly, get the kettle on first, have a tea and a coffee, and then have a recce. And then we just wait for the guests to arrive. We get the seats sorted, the areas, what we're going to use, get get the equipment ready, make sure the batteries are still all fully charged up. And then when the guests arrive, make them feel welcome. We do a bit of a welcome speech, a bit of a welcome introduction to the team, to the equipment, what they might expect. Trying to alleviate some fears, because obviously some have been watching films and TV programs, and I think they can get dragged down a corridor or thrown downstairs and the rest of it. So you kind of alleviate all that, say it's not true. And then I think you have a bit of a coffee, maybe have a coffee break, and then basically move on in earnest for an investigation for an hour, then a different area, then another area, then have a break, and then same again, and then finish about 2 o'clock. And hopefully the guests have got some conclusive evidence about the spirit world. Hopefully that's what we're there for, to see if we can get spirits to communicate with us one way or another.
Yeah. And do you go with them yourself, Stuart? Do you take like a group yourself, and do you do the calling out, or do you encourage?
Yeah. We try and have two team leaders to each group, but if not, it's one team leader. Groups are usually no more than 7 and 8, and they're there to participate. We don't get involved in any of the tables or the glasswork, anything like that.
Yeah.
But we're just there to, get guests to call out, to get them at ease, because there might be a group of strangers, Jamie, and it's difficult. Yeah. Some people are shy, some people are quite extrovert. So we get them to, we try and get the groups to bond as such and get calling out. And if people want to do their own thing, you've seen the equipment we bring.
Yeah.
You can give somebody some sound enhancers, a K2, spirit box, all the rare equipment, just to go and do an investigation by themselves if they want. So yeah, we are pretty full hands-on. Me, Rosie, and the rest of the team, really.
Yeah.
But obviously, we don't touch the tables. Leave that for guests.
No, that's a good idea, that one. And when you go into these locations, obviously you've been to some before. What's it like when you get a brand new location? When you go to somewhere you've never been before, how does that feel?
I'll be honest with you, whether it's an old location we've done 20, 30 times, or a new one that we've never done before, the anticipation is still the same, the build-up is still the same, the excitement, what's going to happen, not necessarily what will we see, because to see something pretty lucky, but what will we hear, what might we sense, what might happen. Even with a new or old venue, it's still the same, but with new venues, that little bit more trepidation, the anticipation of what, you don't know the intricacies of the rooms, and it's just everything's on a new level then.
Yeah.
But the anticipation is just about the same, because every event we love doing. But a new one, you're thinking, what might happen here? Because you hear stories, you hear legends, and hopefully you get something. So yeah, it's like a bit more excitement with a new one, but not much. I'm talking, minuscule, because we love doing them all anyway.
Yeah, and when you go into these locations, what kind of things have you caught? Either on camera or in EVPs or anything like that.
On camera wise, I don't think we've caught much, because we used to one time a day take 3 or 4 video cameras.
Yeah.
And sifting through it, you'll get shadow movement and things like that, but that could be when you're filming, you're kind of just looking just down a corridor, aren't you, really, of a view. Whereas it could be somebody who's walked behind you and you see a shadow. But if you've not got when you've got your camera, you're just looking in one area. But hearing stuff, we use voice recorders, the spirit boxes. We'll do call-out sessions where you give somebody an EVP and say, if there's a spirit there, could you say hello? And then you get them to wait 15 seconds, record it, throw another question out, could you tap, could you copy this? Wait another 15, 20 seconds for a response. All that kind of stuff, Jamie. And use the spirit box as well. We record all of them. We've had some excellent EVP recordings captured, voice phenomena over years. And also some excellent stuff on spirit boxes. People using sound enhancers, which increase your hearing by 50 times. I've picked up incarnate voices that nobody else in the group's heard who's not wearing them.
Yeah. Have you ever actually seen an apparition or something similar to that?
I'm working out, Jamie. I've done practically about over years. We've been doing them for 15 years. I would say we've done in the region of 6 to 800 investigations, whether it's private or events. through the companies we work from, and we simply. There's been probably 3 or 4 that have been. To see an apparition, you've just got to eradicate any kind of, was it a shadow, was it something moving behind me, is it a reflection? Before you can anything that's paranormal, you have to go through everything to alleviate anything that could be normal. Then you can say, well, it were paranormal. The best one ever is was Doncaster Air Museum about 14 years ago. And we were working for a company then. So it's about 13, 14 years ago. And we're in what's the main hangar. And a group around the table, and the table was parallel to the entrance door, which was probably bigger than the bog standard door, which is about 3 foot. It was probably about a 5-foot door. But the group all sat down, and we were calling out, and we saw this figure. I think the people who were facing the door saw this figure. It was about 6'4", dressed in overalls, walked by the door. So we're like, who's that? So, I mean, I'm not the fittest, Jamie, so I ran to the door. There's nobody there. So like, where have they gone? And you instantly thinking, well, it's none of guests tonight in overalls. Alan, who runs the Air Museum, wasn't in overalls. So I stepped out the door onto pea gravel, and instantly worked out this figure had walked through the disabled railings and on the pea gravel, and not made a noise. Not made a noise on the pea gravel at all. So you take it, you're thinking, well, maybe there's slighter thought. So I went to see Alan. I said, Alan, have you got anybody else in the area working? We've been a museum. He went, no, it's only me. Alan's 5'6" at best. This figure was 6'3".
Wow.
And yeah, he totally freaks out. I mean, one guy who saw it, as soon as we correlated the evidence, saying, look, it's walked through this disabled railing, it's walked on the pea gravel, and nobody heard it, and how can he walk through the railings? He just vomited literally in front of us. He just vomited out of, sheer scared. So that was one. Penminode Hall, we saw one there. Penminode Hall's 2 big rooms, and we were sat down calling out, and we all saw this figure move from like left to right, and that was about 5'8", and we looked wispy, so we presumed it was a small guy, or maybe a tall, tallish 5'8" woman. We saw that. We've had incarnate voices. Ripon Workhouse. We had a group of guests around the table calling out, and we're saying, does it bother you that we're here? The glass went to yes. And there was another question, does it bother you that we're here? Do you like us being here? And the woman with the sound enhancers, Jamie, remember that picks up 50 times more than what high hearing does. Mm-hmm. She went, I just heard go away. And I'd recorded it as well. So when we wound it back, you get the question, does it bother you that we're here? You get yes, very lightly. Then somebody asks, do you like us being here? And you get, go away, go away. Wow. And honestly, first time I heard it, I had hairs on the back of my neck. It's on our YouTube channel somewhere. And it's also, it's on our YouTube channel somewhere, that if you ever want to listen to it. Mm-hmm. Now, without boring you too much, there was another EVP recorder we did. This is many years, this is about 15 years ago. We joined an amateur group locally, and we went to a local abbey in Rotherham called Roach Abbey. Mm-hmm. It'd been demolished by Henry VIII in the, the act where he destroyed all the abbeys and to do with Roman Catholic, Roman Catholic Church when he wanted to get married. So we goes there, and it's February. It's very cold. It's not the best conducive weather for calling out, but we'd not done many. We went with this amateur group, and they were all right, nice, decent people. And we're just in this part of Abbey. That's the only bit that's got a roof on, and there's a bit of snow falling. And we're doing a little call-out session. If you can hear us, can you say your name? Can you whistle? And played it back. Now, bear in mind, it was the old EVP recorder, the little cassettes.
Yeah.
So we wound it back, played it. And I swear down, Rose were there, my kid's life, Jamie, it was unbelievable. Press play, and you got Latin chanting. I won't do it, because, well, you got Latin chanting in the background, and as if you got wooden plates hitting a wooden table. So the only thing we could presume was we was in the kitchen area or the dining area, and we wound it back, played it again, same thing. We weren't deluded, we'd not imagined it, and then we went and lost. You know, eventually we had that call, could be a lose anyway, and we lost the tape, we lost the EVP recorder. But yeah, really strange that. The theory is rid of a stone tape theory.
Yes.
That's the two Americans. I forgot the names, and they devised the stone tape theory. And I think it was 1948 or 1952, something like that. They came across this theory of how bricks can hold any kind of voice or imagery through energy, by holding the energy in the brickwork, because brickwork contains silica, which is what they used to use VHS tapes and Betamax tapes many years ago. So that's the theory of stone tape.
And the thing is, it's like you, Stu, when I go on investigations, the more you get, the more you want. And it's one of those things, once you go ghost hunting, it becomes like, it's like a fix, isn't it? You just want it to more and more.
Yeah, it really is. And it's the little things, Jamie. I mean, the first one I ever went on, we went to York, to forgot the name of the place. It was the pub there. We went there.
The Lamb.
If Rosary should tell you. Golden Fleece.
The Golden Fleece. That's it.
Fleece.
Yeah.
So we went to Golden Fleece. I mean, at the time, there weren't many companies, and I think we paid £70 a ticket, and so quite expensive for what they are nowadays. I mean, you know, there's that many companies. Prices are a lot cheaper now. So we paid £70 a ticket, and I thought, yeah, there was rubbish. What's happening here? And then it's me and Rosie, another couple, and I got on glass. Don't get me wrong, I've never been scared of using Ouija board, because at the end of the day you read about it, and you know it's you're not going to get possessed or anything ridiculous. So we use a Ouija board. It's just moving ever so slightly this glass. And we said, you know, your girl went. Oh boy, went to yes for a girl. And we said, how did you die? And for some reason I said, did you die in a fire? The glass went to yes. No, that's nothing to anybody who's not into ghosting. But the weirdest thing is, when we said, did you die in a fire? We all heard like a match strike, like, and the smell of sulphur.
Really?
Honestly, and that had me hooked after that. So I'm like, wow, at that. And then we kind of got involved with another company until she packed in. And the stuff, again, over the years, I mean, through Simply and as the other investigations we've done, we did Town Hall.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, and had the most phenomenal tapping and banging there. And it weren't the wind, it weren't the doors. Morecambe Winter Gardens. We were down in the cellars there one day, and we said, show yourself as a light, please use all our energies, you're always polite. And it was just so somebody had lit the room up with a torch.
Wow.
Honestly, and where the light came from, nobody was there, we all sat around the table. Bolin Hall, something very similar. You show yourself as a light, and it just like a light went on behind us all. Roy's Phenomena at... where was it now? I think it was Cannon Hall. Jez, who comes with us all the time.
Yeah.
He saw a figure of a woman in Cannon Hall. He went round to the other room. Nobody were there. Mentioned it to the staff. They phoned us up 2 weeks later, said they'd had a charity event for a school group, and somebody else had witnessed the same woman in the same area, but we'd not gone public. We weren't on the blogs. I didn't write a blog up at the time, so nobody would have known other than us, Cannon Hall staff, maybe a couple of guests. So it wouldn't have been common knowledge, and that's just some of the stuff, Jamie. You know, we have equipment set off. I would have showed you again. It's my YouTube channel, the Spirit Box session, and we play can you give us your name? What do you think of Stuart, like me? What do you think of Stuart? Or can you describe me in one word? Or can you describe a guest in one word? That kind of stuff. And what was it? Stanley Palace, I think it was. And we said, can you describe Stuart in one word? And it was the W word. Clear as a bell.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I say, Jamie, on radio stations, you can't swear.
No.
So where are these swear words coming from? And yeah, that's another example. You know, you get the B's, the C's, the F words, everything through a spirit box, but you can't swear on radio stations. So where they're coming from?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, it makes you wonder, because I mean, obviously these people weren't alive at one time, so obviously they know the same language as us. Unless you get further back where the actual dialogue of the language changes, because of obviously that time it was a completely different kind of language altogether. It was English, but it was like what we wouldn't be able to understand, to be honest with you.
That's it. I mean, one of my favourite places is Mill Street. I'll be honest with you. We've probably done that somewhere between 15 and 20 times off the top of my head.
Wow. And
I think out of all that time, we've only probably had one night where it's been like really quiet. The rest of it, you've always got something.
Yeah.
And one of the best spirit box sessions I had down there was in the cellar, and there was a guest called Hazel, and it took a liking to Hazel on the spirit box, and we said, if you like Hazel, can you light one of the balls up that we have? The ball lit up, and we said, who's your favourite guest in the group? And it said Hazel, and Hazel almost instantly went upstairs.
Really?
She says, yeah. She says, she was loving it. She says it was freaking her out. And we've had some fantastic times in there at your place, to be honest.
Yeah.
And guests also report movement upstairs as well in the where the windows are, even though no one's up in them rooms. So that's another thing we see phenomena there.
Right. Is that where the classrooms are at the top?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
that's quite often known in the barracks there. Somebody looking out that window and things like that. But I mean, I'm like you. I know Mill Street Barracks like the back of my hands, and you've been there a lot of times now.
Yeah, a few times now. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in there. We if you listen back on some of one of the shows, we were talking about the shadows we caught the other week. We actually saw a shadow downstairs in the cellar, and hopefully when you come back, it'll happen to you. Hopefully.
Yeah, we've had a few times shadow movements in cellars there.
Yeah.
And also in the, I think it's the bedrooms. I think we've had some good activity up there as well.
Right, that's paranormal activity, I hope, Stuart.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, wherever you go in the barracks, there's experiences right across the actual building itself. Other locations you've been to, Stuart, of all of the ones you've been to, which ones would you like to, go back to? Which one drags you back all the time, apart from Mill Street?
How long have we got? Let me think. I like Customer Hall in Doncaster Air Museum. I like Rycroft. I like Rycroft all in over at, I think it's Oldham Shore, isn't it, there? There's that many, Jamie, honestly. I like all of them.
It was an awkward question.
The ones that we do are the ones that we like.
Yeah.
And the ones that we don't do are the ones that we probably not really like, to be honest, though. I thought, it's not all that. Rippin's a good one. Both Rippin, both workhouses, they're really quite active as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some more. Not Town Hall. We did that many years ago.
Is that Hyde Town Hall? Yeah.
No, Nottingley Town Hall. It's in West Yorkshire.
Yeah.
It's about 20 minutes from Leeds, I think, in that kind of area.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't look much when you see photos of it. But over the years, we've had stones thrown in cellar.
Really?
Which, out of the 600, 700 events I've done, probably experienced that 2 or 3 times. Stones being thrown where there's no legitimate reason for anybody being in that, where it's come from, or you've seen everyone's hands on the table, that kind of stuff. But one at Nottingham Town Hall, we've had amazing light phenomena there as well in one of the cellar rooms.
Oh, right.
So and we saw well, saw a figure of a boy as well. It's about 5 of us saw a figure of a little boy peeking. Saw his head and then saw him move, which was really bizarre.
Going back to Hyde-Town horseshoes, I don't know whether you went right round it. Did you ever go right at the very back of the town hall where they had the very, very old part? It was all wood. It was all like, I think it was oak and things like that. And the rooms, it was like one long corridor.
Yeah, we did it about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But then you could use the cells. But like now, they've rented different areas off, and you don't get as much now. But I remember doing that years ago. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah.
I still remember that as clear as today because it was one of those places when I went to. It was one of the creepiest places, and each room there was still things in the rooms. The old chairs were in some of the rooms. It was like they just walked out and left. Obviously, it was dirty and dusty and that, but I mean that was one of the creepiest places I've ever been to at the back of there. But it was a good place. I mean, sadly, I haven't been back there for a long time now.
I think last time we went was about 8 years ago, and the rooms that they'd promised you, they'd started renting them out.
Yeah.
I think they had like a load of clothes in one of the rooms from some theatrical group. I think something like that. So that right one. But I'll tell you what, actually thinking about it, we did many years ago. We did a place called Wakefield Theatre. Wakefield Royal Theatre in Wakefield. Again, that's just 20 minutes away from Leeds. And we had a quietish night calling out. And we're on the stage. It was me and Rosie and the lady who ran the company. So it's about 13 years ago.
Yeah.
A few guests, and we said we'd like to, you always thank the guests, you always thank the spirits at the house. We'd like to thank you for communicating with us and entertain us with what you've done, etc., etc. And then, I swear down, Jamie, we got this. In the theatre, we got that. Because we did the round of applause.
Yeah.
We got that.
Wow.
Come back from empty chairs. And that is honestly, that's gospel. And I thought, it kind of stuff like that just blows you away because we gave them a little round of applause and we got that.
Yeah.
So, over years we had a catalogue of stuff that's happened. One of the strangest, one of the strangest ones was we used to do Worms of Fall. We still do, but obviously with COVID we don't. And we've just been doing ghosting about a year. And we've got guests doing a Ouija board. And it's a bit of a long story, but anyway, the guests are doing a Ouija board. And they got a girl called Emily come through and a boy called James. And which were brilliant. And they said one of them I think they said James had drowned in the local pond in Worms of Fall. So, ended now, said thank you very much to the spirits, left it at that. Well, the manager of Worms of Fall used to be called Eddie. Obviously he's retired now because we were about 15 years. And Eddie phoned us apart at Blue about 8 years ago. He says to Rose, he says, you won't believe this. He says, it's me, Eddie. He says, you won't believe this. He says, why, Eddie? He says, I've had a couple from London come up doing the family history. And they've come across a boy and a girl called Emily and James, who lived at Worms of Hall, who was, I think, part of the family who owned it, with their children. Mm-hmm. And he says, you're not going to believe it. James actually drowned in the pond.
Wow.
And we went, no way. And when we came back to do Worms of Fall, about 4, 5, 6 months later, because we only did it twice a year, that one.
Yeah.
He actually had the clipping from this family, the family tree.
You couldn't get better evidence than that, could you?
No, you can't. No, you can't make that up. We were like, for years, we'd had the glass saying there was a James and Emily.
Yeah.
And then, when it's confirmed, 6, 7, 8 years later.
Yeah, and when you get that, that confirmation, it gives you that buzz, doesn't you? Thinking, yes.
Yeah, when he showed us that, he showed us that. Yeah. I can't remember if he sent us a copy or not. He was going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get some kind of confirmation like that. It just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. And I meant what I forgot to ask is, but how did you get the name Simply Ghost Nights? How did that come about?
Do you know, I couldn't tell you. We sat one day, I think with me, Rosie, and his friend Phil, and we were just going through names, usual kind of stuff. I can't even think of whatever names, Raw Ghost Hunting or whatever, that kind of stuff. And we just said, we weren't into the selling hoodies and selling coats. Just simply wanted to do ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it basically was, because we didn't want to be, come and buy this off us, and when you do a ghost hunt, we'll sell you.
Yeah.
I mean, what we did do actually originally when we first started, we actually gave torches away. We bought a load of torches with Simply Ghost Nights on the old phone number.
Yeah.
And we gave them away on every event. And I think that's the gist of the thing. We just didn't want to be anything other than just ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And I don't even, the word ghost hunting is a bit of a no mark, 'cause it's really should be investigating, but...
Yeah,
you know,
I always said about ghost hunting, I always say it sounds like you're going on the hunts for them, to shoot them. But
it does, it sounds like you're going
right.
out with, with your 12-bore rifle or something, doesn't it? But, it just kind of, simply just ghost hunts. I mean, really, you could have said simply paranormal investigations or simply investigations, but it hasn't got it's not in the title, is it? So it's ended up being simply ghost nights.
Yeah.
And
as well.
Took it from there, really.
Stuart, how did your group come about? How did you and Rosie get into the paranormal?
Rosie's always had a fascination with it for years. I mean, we've been together 30 years, so I mean, we've been together, like I say, we've been doing it 14 years. And like I say, she dragged me on one to the one at York there, the Golden Fleece. And little bits happened, then we went on another one when absolutely nothing happened. To the Peterborough Museum, and then we did a couple more, and little more things happened, and then you kind of get, like you say, it's a bit like a drug, isn't it?
Yeah,
you want more and more evidence, and even if it's the same evidence, we just got into it that way, Jamie. And then Rosie saw an advert, I don't know if it was on the internet or Facebook, in the early days of Facebook. Somebody wanted a team, so we joined a team, and we stayed with her for 4 years. Until she packed in, and then we were kind of at a loose end, and we sat down and we were like, well, we can do this, we can run a company, we'll have a go, do one a month, but it ended up being more successful than that. We ended up doing one a week, sometimes 2 a week, and then it becomes like
addictive.
Onwards and onwards and onwards and going then, it was only COVID really that's slowed it all down. We just sat there, like I say, one day, thought, we can do it. We do the introductions, we know how to split teams, groups of 20 people into 4 groups, etc. And it's something we enjoy. But yeah, Rosie's always had the love for it before I did.
Yeah.
And she was always watching the programmes, sat with headphones on, and all these lives that were going on, and she sat there with headphones on listening, and the rest of it, she'd kill me for saying that line, but she did.
Yeah, but I mean, of all the places you've been to, and I was asking that before about your favourite one. What places have you not been to but would love to go to?
I would have thought something like Alcatraz. I'd like to have a look around Alcatraz because of the history there. And also hopefully for some sun. In the UK, I think we've done everywhere, Jamie. That we'd like to do in the UK. I mean, we've done all manner of places. We've done the Liverpool orphanage. We did that for years. Just done everywhere really. Hague Hall, that was a nice one. Wentworth Woodhouse in Rotherham, that's a good one. So there's nowhere that I don't feel I've ever missed out on, to be honest. Probably places like Churchill's War Cabinet, what you can't do, or you like to go around one of the Buckingham, maybe London Tower, one at London Tower's calling out session, but you can't do that. Somewhere where you can't do is where I'd like to go, I think.
Yeah, the one I'd like to do is in Highgate, the big graveyard of Highgate.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice one to do.
Yeah, places like that.
Yeah.
It's where you can't do them, isn't it?
Well,
it's probably where I'd like to do them next.
Yeah, wherever we can't do it always seem to be the best ones, but you can't get there.
That's it, yeah. I mean, you can't really walk around the Tower of London with a K2 and a spirit box and call out. Because obviously all the beheadings that have been there and hangings and the rest of it.
Yeah, and I've got to ask you, with all the investigations you've done, and we all have them, don't we? The funny side, we have the funny side of the ghost hunts or the paranormal investigations.
Oh God, yeah.
What's one of the funniest things that's ever happened to yourself?
Funniest thing. Trying to think. It's been
On
that
the
many,
spot.
Jamie, at the top of my head.
Got you on the spot there, Stuart.
But yeah, well, guests sometimes making bodily noises. That's one.
Yeah.
That happens, doesn't it?
Mm.
I'm trying to think if it's.
It's a difficult one, that
I'll
wasn't
tell you
it?
one of the funniest ones was. It was at Howden in East Yorkshire, and it was at the end of the night, and I'd gone to my car to put some equipment in. We'd said to the guests, and a few guests was mingling around at the end, like they do, saying, "When's your next event?" So we really enjoyed it, blah blah blah. And I put some equipment in my car, locked my car, come back round, and when I come in, two of the guests were absolutely bricking it in corners, saying, "I've just seen this figure walk by. We've seen this figure walk by." And Rosie went, "You sure it wasn't Stuart?" Going to Cat, "No, it weren't Stuart. No, it weren't Stuart." And I walked in, they went, "Oh my God, it was Stuart." They'd bricked themselves of a me walking by. That was one of the ones. I was really scared. Just all manner ones, Jamie. Just trying to think one at the top of my head. I can't think. To be honest with you, I can't think any more on top of my head. Really, just ones like that where guests, I've had one fall asleep once. They'd done a night. Yeah, they'd done a night shift. A day shift, sorry, and they'd gone on a night, obviously for a ghost hunt, and you could hear this. And so what's that noise? Because they've got the sounding answers on, you see. He said, "What's that noise?" Going, "What noise?" It was a guy sat on one at settees and gone to sleep. He'd done a day shift. They were knackered. Actually, one of the funniest ones as well was St Revels on Welsh borders, St Revels Castle. And there's a group round the table, and I got the hands above the table, so the table had been moving all over. I said, "Look, if there's that much energy, we'll put your hands above the table. Everyone step back, or sit back, and make sure no one's near the table." So they put their hands about 2 or 3 inches above the table, and everyone checked each other's legs. Nobody's legs were near the table or anything. So calling out, "Please move table, come on, please move table." I'm not joking, Jamie. No one was touching. No one's legs were near it. Table moved about 3 inch. So imagine that everyone sat around this table, every edge is taken. You had people trapping themselves in one way, then another, and the girl, she just threw herself backwards onto like a 600-year-old paneling in wood. Oh my God, yeah. I'm more bothered about her head. I mean, the wood's been there 600 years. It's fine. With this girl's end, she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that moved," and stuff. It was like. Each out the 8 round the table, fear, but then the excitement of realising what you've just seen as well. Yeah, that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest. I've had a couple of funny ones. One was with James, who's sitting in here with me now. And what happened with James is we went to one called in Northwich. You must know it, the Plaza.
I've heard of it, but I've never done it.
It's worth going to, that one. We were in there, and I was walking through with James. We were doing a little bit of filming, and I seen one of my group, Jonathan, sitting in the tickets stall. Yeah. And as we were walking through, James had his torch and just put his torch just as Jonathan was sitting there. Well, the air was blue for about 2 minutes. It was so funny. And the same location, Jonathan, before that, when we went before, he was on the stage. We were on the stage doing an investigation and everything else. And we said, "Right, come on, let's go and have a break." So a few of them went round the back and down the stairs and out, and Jonathan decided to come off the stage, to get off the stage at the front and to climb down. But if you haven't been there, the stage is quite high up, and it was higher than Jonathan thought. And when we heard this stumble and bang, wallop and all this lot, and as we shone the torch down, Jonathan sprawled on the floor. Honestly, he was sprawled that much, you could have drew, them chalk lines around him. Yeah. It was so funny.
Something like that happened at Eagle to us. Phil won at team. He's not been with us for a few years now, Phil. And we could hear these ravens fighting outside. Some birds, like blackbirds or ravens. So he's gone to investigate, and he's gone to have a look through a window, but it's got the secondary glazing. So he just walloped into it, and like you said, nearly knocked himself out. We all thought you were funny, he didn't.
Yeah, no, I think that I've had a few of them as well where I've walked into things. Something frightened me. I can't remember where it was now, and I didn't realise there was a mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
And as I walked past, I just, when you catch something in the corner of your eye. Well, I'm not one for swearing, but I swore this day, and it was my reflection.
Oh.
But my favourite one, as I think I was telling James a couple of weeks ago, we were in a place in I think it's called the Clock Face in Prescott.
Clock, is it at Walmsley, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it was in Prescott. It's called the Clock Face. It's a pub.
Yeah.
And we were cleaning out the back. There's barnyards in the backyard, and at the above, there's like where people used to live. It was just like a room, a landing to go down the stairs, and then another room. And in that room was the kitchen and the bath, all in one room. Would you believe? And the bath was behind the window, which looked down onto the stairs. So I turned around and said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to climb into the bath, look out the window. So if anybody comes up the stairs, if the couple who were coming up the stairs, the girl and the other girl, I said, when they turn around, they're going to see my face. And what they're going to do is they're going to scream and jump, which exactly what happened. And they come into the room, and honestly, God, I frightened them that much. I had to go down. I said, look, I was trying to say it was me. Yeah. And the first thing they turned around and said is, we were coming up the stairs and we seen the most grotesque face in this window.
Don't say hoax.
Which was me. Thankfully, when they explained that the window was rotten and it wasn't my grotesque face, it all calmed down in the end. But they were so frightened afterwards. I was like, I felt a bit guilty at first, but then I laughed afterwards. But
and it's all good. It's all done in good. It's good fun as well, isn't it? It's all. He's trying to be light-hearted with it because people do get scared about it.
Of course they do.
And you can still be serious, but you have that little course of laughter brings the energy and the spirits love that bit of energy. You get activity again, don't you? So keep going like that.
One more thing before we go, Stuart. Tell us a little bit about how people can contact you as a group if it's on Facebook, and you mentioned your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, Facebook, or via the website, via email, and by phone number as well. But we're just changing phone number, Jamie, this week. Yeah. So his old one will be, the one that's there now will be his old one. So Facebook or email, they'll get in contact with Twitter even. So we can be found. And
that's Simply Ghost Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you forgot to mention your group there, Stuart.
Oh, yeah, Simply Ghost Nights, www.simplyghostnights.co.uk.
Yeah, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, www.simplyghostnights.co.uk.
Stuart, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Jamie. Thank you.
We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
No, thank you, Jamie. Stay safe as well, buddy.
And you too. Thanks, Stuart. Thank you.
Bye.
That was Stuart from Simply Ghost Nights. What did you think, James?
Fantastic. Really interesting. Really interesting chap as well, isn't he? He's done so many investigations over the years.
Yeah, I think it's around 800, I think he said there.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he's been going, 15 years so the experience he's got is next to none, really.
I've not met Stuart before, but from listening to the interview, he sounds like a really nice chap.
He is, and so is his wife, Rosie. Such lovely people. I've met them quite a number of times now, and I've always felt comfortable in their company.
Yeah.
And they're always very welcoming and very courteous, and even when they leave the place, you wouldn't even think they'd been there. You know what we should do when all coronavirus is done and dusted with? We should organise a massive investigation with all our groups that we've interviewed, and all of us go down one night. That'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? And record it for the show. Record it for the show as well. Yeah. So speaking of recordings for the show, we're now going to go into into part 3 of your paranormal challenge. We mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show. We had 2 parts last week. You went off to a secret location. There was yourself, Marie Spriggs, Shell Louise, and Mr. Shell. And I've listened to it already. It's fantastic, but I'm sure everyone else wants to hear it. I'm sure they do, because this is the final part of it, and what we got in the first part was brilliant, but it got better. Well, here we go. Have a listen to this. Well, if we keep walking down here, there's only me and you, so I'm going to tell you in front. Now, if you look, shine your torch slightly in front. Sorry about the motorbikes. Yeah. Okay.
So don't say that, let's see if she picks up. Now I think, this James she's picked up on. It's empty, they don't use it at all. But it's looked after and everything else. I'm really sorry that we can't give descriptions at the moment. But what I will do is I'll tell you that we're next to a chapel. Now, Shell's away from us at the moment, and where she was before was an old chapel. And it's just been, it's obviously it's not there anymore, but they've turned it into like a lawn. But I just want to see what she picks up here now. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's amazing. Looks really, it looks very chilling, doesn't it?
So I don't know if you caught it then, I was getting footsteps right behind me.
Right.
3 or 4 footsteps just following me. I was the last one in the row. So I don't know. Michelle thinks that we're being followed by the gentleman, possibly James.
Can I just say why I think he's following us?
Yeah.
Because we've got another chapel here. Right behind you.
And he's walking to it.
You know what I do?
Yeah.
This is like butter beans to me. I don't like it.
Well, that's why I walked you this way.
I've just been saying to Marie,
Yeah.
I feel like they know that I have practiced the dark art and I'm not welcome because I am almost like a witch.
Yeah, but you're very much in control as well.
Yeah, very much in control, but I don't like the way they just think this jump scare thing is good.
But can I just show you something? If you look at the shape, it's the shape of the other one round there.
Holy moly.
There's the... So where we were looking at that one, could that have been the entrance where he said stop?
Possible. I wasn't allowed.
You mean the foundations are exactly the same?
I'd say so, yeah. I think there was...
they look very similar,
it's the same shape in every way.
Doorway. I said, what did I say as well? I need to go around the other side. If you look,
Yeah.
I was taken to the front, the door, and oh my gosh, sorry.
Yeah. No,
Think
it's okay.
about it. Oh, Eccles, he shown himself right. So let's rewind the scene. So we're gonna recreate the scene, barring me. So you stand there.
Okay.
Where you would have been. Simon, you stand there. No, here. Stand here. Here.
Can I
then
just
turn
say that
face
we
that way.
are standing in front
Turn
of
the
the
face that
chapel?
way, both of you. Now, he, look, would have been stood here, and what happened to both of you at the same time?
Exactly the
You
same
got touched,
time,
and look at the place, and it was right at that. It's replicating
Exactly the same.
Exactly.
It is, yeah.
Come out
the
and go.
same.
I've not really noticed that, have you?
Wow.
No. Yeah.
It is.
Holy moly. So that validates to me what I saw and what you two felt.
It's very strange. I can see what you're saying as well, because, I've never looked at it in that way until now.
That validates what is going on.
Yeah.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the vicar used to stand by the right of the door as you walked in because the plate was there?
Yeah. When you look at it, yeah.
Wow. So he would have been stood there with, the charity box and that. They always stand by this door, don't they? As you walk in, you pass them on this side.
Yep.
You say, good morning, vicar, or good morning, father.
Right.
Or if you're doing, obviously, God bless them, a funeral ceremony, a passage of rite, they'd stand there. As you walked in, the family came in. Did you think the body would go? And then the family would be on this side lining. And usually your undertaker's not on this side, and the vicar stands there.
Wow.
So spot on.
So what he was doing over there was stopping us from entering.
Stopping us from entering. We were welcome. That's spot on.
My word. But I'm going to tell you something now. There is a third one of these in here. There is a third one.
Sticking pins in that.
Okay. There is a third one of these buildings, but it's the same as the far one we've just been to. It's not a building. It's
land.
Yeah. So I was going to take you to that one, but I think we've had quite a lot of stuff now, haven't we?
But do you know what is really weird? I don't feel the same threat here
Was over there.
as I did there. I don't feel. I'm not saying he was negative, malevolent, anything like that. He was a man of the cloth, God bless him, but I don't feel threatened in any way here. I feel more calmer here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys feel it too. This area.
Yeah.
is
I feel fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine, yeah.
I don't feel like over there. It was heavy, and it was like something's walking around us. Every one of us, our senses were heightened. Now here, I could happily just sit
And
in front of
talk,
it
yeah.
with not feeling
Yeah.
anything.
Well, what I'll do is I'll walk around the other side and come back around this way and tell me if you feel anything. If you stay here. I've been getting brave now.
You are getting brave.
Yeah. Are you coming with me, are you? Yeah. I was going on my own. I was going to be brave. But anyway, just let me know if you feel anything, because I'm going to walk around. So, I'm not going around on my own now because Marie's coming with me.
I'm here with you. I've had quite a long walk round.
Yeah.
Different noises, different things I've heard. So I just want to clarify what I was doing. So.
But what's strange though is, Shell and Mr. Shell around back there, I've picked up on all these things. Now, we know there's another entrance there and there's another entrance here, but they don't know about this one yet. Because I want to bring them round.
Yeah.
And see what they think of that. I was going to take them to the... Did you thought they were walking with us then?
I did. I actually thought they were walking with us. No. There's no one.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't walk around on my own then. That would have been really weird.
I'm glad we both heard that.
Yeah. It's fair. Do you know what I thought I heard then?
What was that?
Horses' hooves. Listen. Can you hear it?
I can't hear it.
It was like horses' hooves.
There's somebody again.
I know.
Which way are we going back?
I think we'll go back this way because it's near sugar. Okay, I'm going back.
Why,
I just thought I'd seen something there. I nearly said something I shouldn't have said as well then. Where are they? Oh, come on, let's go back quick. We actually thought you were following us.
Thought you was following us.
We heard footsteps.
We heard the footsteps and we got to the top corner and we peeked back round and we weren't there.
This church
Yeah.
is to do with Jewish. That's the Star of David.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right, yes.
Judaism.
Now, you've not seen the other side of this church, have you?
No.
Or chapel, whatever you want to call it. I'll take you round. We're going to go this
You
way.
planted somebody around there.
I promise you. No.
Like that, Jamie!
No, I want to keep my life as it is. I don't want to end up in A&E. No, what I want you to see is round this side now. It's a beautiful chapel.
See, I'm not feeling like... I'm feeling a little bit wobbly.
This is where we thought you was following us and I popped my head back round to look from here.
But I also, just so you know, Shell, in the distance I thought I heard horses, the hooves.
Oh, wow. That would be beautiful.
Now whether they've had horses here, I do not know. So...
Are we allowed in?
No, we're not allowed in, it's all sealed off.
Why is that like that now, but the other side's been sealed?
I know.
Could it be that
New part.
they've had an entrance where they come in and then an entrance when they leave?
It looks like it's refurb, that is another one.
Yeah. Beautiful though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stunning.
Is this additional?
Sorry?
Additionally added this part.
Yeah.
No.
Look at the brickwork on. Is it?
No,
From this
it's
angle it looks...
yeah.
It looks all...
Yeah, from the front, the
Yeah.
red
You'd
brick
think it was
looks
new, wouldn't you?
It
Yeah.
might have been blasted.
I think they've
Possibly,
cleaned it. I think they're doing what they're doing with the graves. They're cleaning it. Or tidying it. But it stands proud, doesn't it?
I don't feel like I felt over there.
No, I feel quite calm. I didn't before. And I said to Marie, I'm glad walked around with you, but there's another entrance.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that was for the priest
The
or
priest,
whoever.
I was just about to say, they always have a little side door, like where families would go in and talk and sign registers.
So that'll be that part there.
That'll be that part. I can't remember. Is it called the nave?
I don't know.
I think it's called the nave.
I don't know.
That part of the church. Marie, what's your knowledge on churches? You know the little bit at the side there?
Yes.
The bit where the priest goes in, is that called the nave?
I'm not
The
sure.
doorways. Do you know what I mean, though?
On the side there, with the little door.
Is it the nave?
And he does that as well.
You know what? I could always look it up.
Yeah, it might be worth a quick research on that one.
Yeah.
See, I'm not feeling...
Well, that's where James will come in handy, because James is quite good on his history of the
Time
area.
for him to get digging.
Yeah.
Don't
So-
mention the J word. I know you're James and James, but I
Did
don't
we tell you
like
about
that
the Jewish
J.
symbol in the window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just seen that
Star
then.
of David.
So you've got, I know we haven't gone to the other one, but there are 3 of these, but this is the only one left standing. What's that grave's name on that?
Get lost.
What?
And I'm really sorry, but I did not say. I just pointed, I didn't even see that before.
The nave is the central part of a Christian church, extended from the entrance to the transept. The nave is in front of the sanctuary and the church. Wow. Have you seen him?
And I didn't even know.
Is it?
No,
Rupert.
no.
Oh.
I've just said, we walked around and I didn't see it.
Is he a man of cloth?
I don't know, but
I just had a look.
we were standing here.
No,
Could
I've
be
got
my
my phone back. No, I put my phone back on because I was checking that.
All I was doing was standing here talking to Shell, and I went, and that stood out. And I said, what's the name on that? And all it says in big writing is James.
James.
The one word that stands out.
Yeah.
My
Now
word.
I feel bellyache.
It's getting stranger by the minute.
Especially when you're drawn. Especially when you're drawn to it.
Yeah. And I just pointed straight. I didn't even see, because it's in the darkness.
I've seen that flash.
Where
Everyone
did you-
else just see the flash there?
Straight through there.
Did you see it?
Straight through.
You
Under-
see
Oh, I
it?
didn't see it.
Right, you little buggers. Quit. If you're going to show yourself, that would be amazing.
Are we being watched?
100%.
I've seen the lights because I was watching
You've
through
seen it
there.
too?
Yeah.
I did see it actually.
I didn't see
did
the
see it.
lights.
It was like
Footsteps.
What do you think
Yeah.
of it so far, Marie? What's happening?
Really, really interesting. Very interesting, especially what we're hearing. So we're just trying to have a listen now because we can hear quite a few noises now.
What you see?
Well, I thought he heard something then.
What's that?
What's what?
Like a crackling noise?
It was.
Yeah.
Like a radio frequency crackling noise. Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh. Ah, right.
Good job we can edit this part, isn't it? It's okay.
Should we have a look over there? Where did you want to go?
I was trying to take them to a certain place.
Yeah. Open ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we'll take you to a certain place now, Shell. And we'll see what you think. So, we're just going to head over to this place where I'm going to show Shell. We'll be back in a moment. Right, Shell, I've got to where I want to take you. And I'm going to keep walking. I know what's here. Marie knows what's here. But obviously you don't. Can you just shine your torch so I can find it? Keep shining it. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Right, okay. I think this is it here. So what I want you to do is stand here. I don't want you to see what's written on it or anything like that, and I want you to Tell me what you think's happening here.
Many. Many voices now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jamie, there's loads underneath the feet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can't tell you everything yet.
Are these plague victims?
Sorry?
Are these plague victims?
No. No.
I got the same feeling, you know, as St. James is many.
Yeah.
Many.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of people underneath us.
Well, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Do you want me to do a little quick call out?
You please.
Okay. I'm going to ask if there's anybody here with us now, and I know there is.
There's a lot.
Last time I was here, you came forward. Can you come forward again? My name's Jamie, and this is Shell. Now, we're not here to harm you. You know that. Is there any way you could tell us your name, please? Do you want to speak to us?
Barefoot.
Okay. Could you tell us your name?
There's another one.
Yeah. I've just heard something as well.
Me too. Barefoot. Small ones. Oh.
I'll ask again. Can you tell us your name? Would you like to talk to us? Are you okay? Are you safe?
Oh, this is sad. This is very sad. It's weird, it's like every time I keep my light down, and then my eyes will catch one come up and then disappear, and then another will come up and then disappear. It's hurting me. I feel so much pressure. Talk to me. See? Then there was another one. Did you see that? Did you see the shadow then? Just
no,
up here?
I was looking that way, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
sorry, I'm not growling at you, I'm growling at them.
No, no, it's
doing
frustration.
It's just like
Yeah.
up and then gone, and then up and then gone, and then up. There's a few hundred near me. I know I'm in a graveyard. But why do I feel so sad about this part? Don't.
What was it?
A hand has just gone.
Right. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I'm hearing voices.
Like whispers?
Yeah, you heard it too.
Yeah.
Like it just went. I know I've asked you to talk. I'm Shell.
My name's Jamie. And just in the distance there you've got Marie and Mr. Shell. We don't mean you any harm. We just want to see you. Let us know you're here. Talk to us.
Right. Can you see where I can see?
Where's that with you?
Right in front of us. White outline.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yep.
It's dimming and lighting and dimming and lighting, and can you see what I can see? Almost like it's blurring itself out, then it's there, and it's not. But it's moved to the right, and then it went left. I don't know whether my eyes are going under.
Right. The last time we were here, I know there's that there, but you're talking towards the trees.
Right.
What are you seeing now? Can I just see what you're? Tell me what you're seeing, then I'm going to tell you what last time I was here.
I've seen a woman, a figure.
Where did she go?
This way.
From the left to the right?
Yeah.
Right, now what you're pointing to, I know nobody knows where it is, but where you're pointing to in this field and where the trees are from the left to the right, last time I was here, I actually saw the same thing moving to the right.
A female in white.
I couldn't say whether it was male or female, I just seen the
Did
person
you see
move.
that? Like it was all grainy, like an old TV.
Yeah,
grainy.
I could see that straight ahead of us.
Yeah, between the tree and the gravestone.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it kind of just went that way.
I didn't see where it went. I could see what you were talking about because I was trying to adjust my eyes to think, was it my eyes adjusting? Was
That's
it?
why I kept thinking, is this my eyes and is this? But it was grainy, but that was a female.
Yeah.
That was 100% female.
Right.
This is sad.
Yeah.
Whatever this is many, and he's sad. Deeply sad.
Right.
No graves are sad.
Okay.
But this is a different feeling to everything I felt.
Yeah. Now what I want you to do is come round here because I didn't show you the grave itself, and I want you to read what's on the grave.
Unmarked graves. These were paupers.
Mhm.
Holy moly, that's what I was saying, like plague and stuff, like I got in the last one. Holy moly. Holy moly, God bless you. And I said I could feel things touching. Woo. Sorry, Jay.
It's okay. That's why I brought you over here. And
So what? So that's valid. So that that's just validated, hasn't it?
yeah, Mrs. Shell and Maria coming over towards us now.
Wow.
You okay?
Yeah.
Have you picked anything up? You'll have to come closer to tell me.
Wow.
I heard a clicking sound there, but...
Whereabouts?
I actually,
Whereabouts?
on that side, I actually saw movement here, and I actually thought one of you had walked off there.
What did
No.
I say?
What did you see?
I thought I saw one of yous walking off in a lighter,
No.
In light colours,
Light
like a grainy,
colours.
like
Yeah.
grainy, like an old
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, that's what
You've
it
seen
is.
the
So,
same
Yeah.
thing.
that's
You
what-
saw the
I
same
actually,
apparition.
that's why I was saying, are they walking off over there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw
We
exactly
haven't
the
moved.
same.
I was like, no,
We've
don't-
just
Right.
stayed here,
I said, no,
and I didn't show Shell the grave.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the side, just listen to Jamie.
Oh, right, go on.
All right. I didn't show Shell the grave. I just wanted her to stand here, and she basically confirmed last time I was here what I was getting and what I was seeing. I heard her.
What was
I
Wasn't
heard ya.
Was it a bird?
It was more like a psst.
Yeah, I guess. I thought it was up in the tree. I thought it was a bird. I know that was the.
Yeah, I could have swore that one of you actually walked off because
No.
I actually said it to.
No.
Sorry.
Where you pointed to, Maria, Shell was pointing the same way and saying, "There's something moving.
Right.
There's something there, and it's moved from left to right." Now, remember last time we were here and we saw something in the same place.
We was over there, yeah.
Yeah, in the same
But this
place.
was a light one.
Yeah.
I kept seeing something dark 3-4 foot high,
this was
5 foot
light.
high there. But this way was where I thought you'd walked off because I
No.
saw it as light.
No, we just
I
stayed where we
actually
were.
thought you walked off.
Very light grainy outline.
Yeah.
And I said to you, it's very grey and it's fading in and out, in and out, in and out. And it was there.
Yes,
It was
this is
there,
what
and it
that's
just went
where I was
across.
showing.
Now,
What did you see? So
I've got an EVP from last
Okay.
time I was here. I'm not going to tell you what it says. I'm not going to do anything like that because what I want to do is I'm going to put it on the radio.
Yeah.
And
And
people can
play
listen
it
to
back
it and then
and see what they-
people can tell us what it says. I don't like saying what it is because as soon as you say what it is,
everybody
you
thinks
can
it
read
sounds
it, you
like
can
that.
see it and everything else. But what I did like is when we first started this is when we were in there and you put your
The voice recorder.
the voice recorder thing on, and we asked where we were and it said cemetery,
Cemetery.
and you
Yeah.
could hear it as clear
You
as
could.
anything.
Yes.
Now I'm sceptic about things like that, but that was as clear as anything. I mean, I did say, "Where are we?" and the word cemetery come out. So I'm
when I was
getting a few surprises. Yeah.
Grave.
Jamie's going to tell you.
Yep.
I picked up, let me film my bit.
Right,
So we
okay.
walked over
Yeah.
and Jamie stood in front of the grave so I couldn't see it. So I don't want to know. I felt so much sorrow and sadness and I said, there are many below me. Many, many hundreds. They are below me. And I kept getting sickness, plague,
Yeah.
poorly, said it's just like at St James's, the same type of feeling I got there. I said, are these plague victims? And he just kind of looked at me like, said there are many.
I said no, but being honest with you, I don't know.
We don't know the story.
You know, I don't know how far back it goes.
Very, very, very.
Is this a mass burial?
Yeah, it's for paupers' grave.
Well,
Paupers' grave.
Just shine the torch onto that.
I got that. And then, no word of a lie, Jamie will tell you, as I'm stood there, I'm stood there, all of a sudden I got this round my leg. Like, grabbed, didn't I? And I jumped back.
And that had been a child.
And then I said to Jamie, you just seen that? And I felt like figures were just coming up and going down and coming up and going down.
Do you like that, what it says on there? Remember, as you pass this way, as you are now, so once were they.
Beautiful.
And, you know, it's incredible. It's sad, but the main thing is they're together. There's a lot of them and they're all together.
There's a lot. There's a few hundred.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is they're together. They're you know, they're not alone.
Can I just ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they all paupers markers?
No.
No, not
No.
around the outside.
The ones in the middle here are the markers. The ones on the outside are obviously people resting.
As soon as I started to walk, I was fine. I get to about 6 foot in, and I was like, oh wow, they're underneath us. I could feel it, but I felt this around my legs, but I felt sickness, like the plague type sickness, illness.
It's very sad. Really
So what did I say to you? It's very sad. I feel heavy, and I didn't feel that over there.
So far tonight, we've had some fantastic results with Shell, Marie and Mr. Shell, and obviously myself who's recording it all. We're just walking ahead now. There about 20 yards in front of me, leaving me in the pitch black on my own. Thankfully I can see them. But looking back, we've had the part in the chantry where where Shell picked up the 3 rings, and obviously they came out as children. We'll talk about that later on. And then we've got the priest or whoever it was who was there, and we got the name James, and then we actually found the grave called with just the name on it, James, which was really strange. We've had footsteps where we feel as if someone's following us. We went to the graves, which are the paupers' graves, which is a really sad section. Shell picked things up there as well. So it's been a really good night so far, and we haven't finished yet. I feel as if, because I'm on my own and it's pitch black, and there's this in front of me, I'm feeling as if there's something behind me, but it could be just my imagination. So we're just going to walk up to the group, all 3 of us, 4 of us. It's the same one again. You can see how big it is, Shell, anyway, can't you? How big this area is.
I was walking over and I said, just sitting there in the silence, and still feeling it under my feet.
Yeah.
But we have a young female with us, 16, 17 years old. I'd say the name Sarah keeps coming into my head.
Can I just stop you there? I've just been talking about the 3 rings to the listeners while I was on my own. Now, let's go back to the very beginning where we went to the grave and there was 2 children in it.
Oh.
What was the name of the child in that grave?
Sarah.
I don't know, there was no age of it.
No age.
No.
16, 17 years
No,
old.
but you did say there was someone older.
Yeah.
Was that the brother or was it the
Sarah.
sister?
It's just the name Sarah was stuck.
So
and
what
I
you
feel...
think it was Sarah who's just walked there? He's with us.
And if you think about this, let me just go back.
All the way
I was
out.
just going to say, let me go back again.
And Marie said children can follow us.
Were following us, yeah.
I did.
Sarah's following us.
So it's all
locking
together.
Wow.
And that's why we might be hearing footsteps behind.
Footsteps, because Sarah
right,
is following us around the land.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Well, we go back out that way anyway, so hopefully she'll follow us back that way and go back to where she should be, with her family.
Yeah, I think she should go.
So maybe she's just watching us, or she feels comfortable with us. I don't know, but it's getting more interesting as the minutes go by.
I just feel heavier on this side than what it did on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know in what way.
I feel more encased.
Yeah.
I'm feeling calm, to be honest with you.
feel
But maybe
more-
it's because I'm
more
concentrating on what I'm doing.
I don't know if we're coming to something or something, but I do feel different.
I honestly think that, you know, once this lockdown's finished and everything else, and we can, you know, because obviously we've got that limit of 6 people now, I think both groups should come back, split into 2 sections, walkie-talk here,
Yeah,
and just blitz the place in one night.
blitz it.
Because what's happening at the moment is, you know, there's only 4 of us and it's unbelievable.
Who was the graveyard watcher? Because usually the first person who was buried in here is the protector, the keeper.
Yeah, they usually have like caretakers, don't they?
Yeah.
Watchmen of a night time.
No, I mean
'Cause-
in spirit.
I don't know.
I feel it's female, and the name Alice is.
You mentioned Alice
very
earlier on as well.
prominent.
Because remember when you were saying earlier on about Alice?
I feel she's the keeper, the protector of the graves, the spirit walker.
Right, well, if you think again, Shell, when we first started, and we started walking out of the first part of the area, you said we've got somebody following us called Alice.
That's me, sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm just trying to get the stones under
Where we had it
I do.
Yeah.
think
Whichever, I'm just following Shell.
Oh,
I'm
right.
just going with what Shell does now. So while Shell's doing her thing, Millie, what do you think so far of what's happened with the
I think it's
the
very interesting how
confirmation
it's
of
all
stuff?
coming together. It all makes sense, and we're all bringing different things, or seeing different things, and it's making sense as we all come around and bring it in, that information.
And Si, you know Shell better than us more than anything.
I could have swore I'd just seen something here. I swear to
Following us.
just quickly go to the left.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, see that tree there?
Yeah.
The grave
Yep.
next to it on the right, like between.
Do you want to
past
go up
those.
towards her?
Do you want to go and have a look at?
Should we go and have a look?
No, I don't, well. Yeah, but anyway, what I think, I think it's pretty cool. To be fair, you know, it's very,
You need to come here a lot more. But, I think there's a lot to
very
it.
spooky or whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
It's calming
definitely worth-
someplace.
Yeah.
I think it'd be definitely worth coming here again, you know.
Yeah.
And
And
maybe,
we've got to say it's not late neither. It's just after 9 o'clock, I think. So it's not late. So what time it is?
see now there's no torches on it there.
Oh, tell a lie, it's 10 o'clock.
See how there's no torches on it there now?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's like black. It's like a figure basically. It's just gone like that, black. So just dead quick, or just moved over. It might be the same ones that you were seeing before, walking in that sort of direction as well. Because that's where we were, weren't it? And that's where I've just seen it now.
Well, it's like corner of the eye as well. You know, when you
It-
catch something in the corner of your eye.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was pretty much like, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as if it was in the corner of my eye. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say, isn't it? If it's just your eyes playing tricks with you, or if it was actually something. Do you know what I mean?
And you got Shell and Marie behind us talking away there, so there's no voices or nothing.
No.
But shame about the motorbikes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Wednesday night though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we do apologise for the motorbikes.
Oof. That's it, that one.
I know, it's just been sound.
It's frightening. It's frightening hearing that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been great. I think it's been a great walkabout.
It certainly has. It's something I've not expected tonight.
No.
I thought we were going to come here tonight, and I don't know about you, Marie, and just have a relaxing night and do our ghost hunts, what James sent us on.
Yes.
And, you know, we found Shell and Si was just round the corner from us through a text, so we got them to come down with us, and
Yes.
it's better than they actually thought, and some of the stuff we've had tonight has just been unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's been good to pick it
Seeing
on.
footsteps
Yeah.
following us, shadow.
Yeah.
And things that, you know, it's all entwined in itself as well. You know, the different things we've had
Yeah.
have all worked together. You know, they've all come together in a way.
Yeah. Well, to add one of the best things I think that's happened here on this walkabout tonight is when I seen something earlier on.
Yeah.
When we first got here, kind of, and definitely seeing something. And then Shell picked up on the three rings?
Yeah.
And two brothers, yeah, that's it.
2 brothers, 3 rings.
And she said we go searching for it, and then Shell found it, and it was exactly where I'd seen that figure.
Yeah.
Well, I seen something moving.
Yeah.
But I'm sure did you guys see it too?
Everybody was guided
Yeah.
to that spot.
Yeah.
We all seen something different.
Walk to that spot, you seem to get drawn, don't you?
Yeah, it was exactly on that spot as well.
But we all seen what it was. We all seen something different. I saw the light. Shell picked up on the name and saw something move. Marie went over there and you saw something as well. So to have 4 of us see something and then go over there and find the actual grave
is quite amazing.
You know, I'm still trying to get my head around that.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be thinking about that when I'm in bed, you know. Because it's one of those, like, did it really happen?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. And what can I say? I thought we were just going to... A nice walk in the graveyard. Nothing will happen. James will laugh at us. And that'll be it. But no.
James is going to be kicking himself that he didn't come with us.
Yeah, James, thanks for the envelope. Thanks for sending us on this location.
Cheers, James.
Yeah, we're all happy about that. And I'm trying to work out where we are now. It's absolutely dark as anything. Oh, there's that big grave, yeah.
That's it. I mean, some big cemeteries like this have lighting, don't they? But this just doesn't. There's nothing.
No, it's very...
If you haven't got a torch, you're bumping into trees and gravestones. And
Which way do we go?
If we didn't have a torch, you'd find me in the morning cowering in the corner, I think. That's where you'd find me, just cowering in the corner there. Yeah. So we're heading back towards the cars now. That was me, I kicked the stone. Sorry. Yeah.
Throwing something at me. I had something thrown at me last week.
Did you?
Oh, right.
When I was in the...
Was it a pub you went to last week?
Yeah, it's still an active pub.
I know you said there was people downstairs and everything else.
It's one of the oldest pubs in Wigan.
Can we go back?
Yeah,
Can we go back this way?
That's the way, yeah.
You know which way this is, don't you, Shell?
Oh no, it's James.
Yeah. Hold on. Right, so we're heading back towards the car now, the 4 of us. It's been a fantastic night, and I'm going to speak to each one of them in a minute and ask them what they thought of it and their feelings about it. So can we stop here and we'll just have a little... Right, so I'll start that part again. So, we've had a really good night tonight. It's been eerie, it's been unbelievable, and some of the things we've had has been brilliant. So Marie, what did you think of tonight? What have you thought? Before we finish, what did you think about the actual investigation we had with Shell and Mr. Shell?
I think it was really interesting, as I said before, what we've picked up, what we've seen, and for 2 of us or 3 of us, and then 4 of us to see everything, and we all come together. I mean, even when I thought that somebody was walking, I was with Si on the opposite side from you, and I thought you'd actually walked away from each other.
Yep.
And it was in a light colour.
Can we just stop you there a moment? I know we're asking you questions about the actual... Now, we've actually stopped... I've actually stopped to talk to them, to ask them what they thought of tonight.
My gosh.
And Shell's been picking up a James and a Sarah. And we've just turned around now on the grave. We've turned to...
Exactly where we stopped
a James and a Sarah.
Wow.
Exactly where we've stopped to talk and say what we were doing tonight, and that was weird because Shell's just gone straight over to it now. What's she pointing to now? What?
2 years.
No way. No way.
Show me again, show me again.
Do it again.
I'm done. Brothers. Here we go again.
That's really weird. And look at the 2 big names, James
They're all Jameses
and Sarah's.
and Sarah's.
Yeah, that's all we picked up tonight, the whole lot.
On earth is this happening?
Do you want to get a photograph of that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Now this is where we were ending we were actually finishing here as well, and this is where I was asking questions to Marie, and I was going to ask the same to Shell and Mr. Shell, and he's just taking some pictures. Obviously we can't put these up because the names on them, the full names are on them, but it's, you know, we've got to keep these anyway. So, yeah, you were saying, Marie?
Yeah, I was saying when you was doing a call out with the many graves that Michelle realised that she was walking over. Si myself was on the outskirts, and kept seeing what we thought, were shadows in there. Then there was one particular shadow that I actually thought, I said, Si, have they walked away? And I could see a light shadow walked away. And when I came to you and Shell actually picked that up as well. So I picked it up and I was a good 100 yards away, maybe 50 yards, 100, something like that. Away. And Michelle picked up exactly the same. So that's good when two people pick up.
So have you enjoyed tonight?
It's brilliant been tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I've got to come back again.
Right, Mr. Shell.
Yeah, it's been
What have you thought?
It's been a brilliant night, to be fair. Really enjoyed it. Walkabout here. Picks up on, like Marie said, picks up on quite a few shadows and stuff, and figures and so on, and sounds and footsteps following us. It's been great, yeah. It's been great.
And obviously, I've got to ask Shell what she's thought of tonight, without swearing, Shell.
Amazing. I'm still trying to relay it all back in my head from the names that was given to me. So now we're stood at the grave of the two names, and all that is wrote across that whole grave is James and Sarah, James and Sarah, James and Sarah. It is freaking me out a little bit, because I don't believe in coincidences. We're meant to have these messages for a reason. And, the fact that the messages I was given, and then you guys was given the same communication and responses. I was given the message, and you guys were shown where to go. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, what is strange is wherever we've stopped, like when we stopped near the chapel, and I said, "Oh, what's that grave there?" Because it stood out quite significant, and the name James was on it. And then we stopped here to finish the recordings and to finish the actual investigation. And the first thing we look at is a grave with James and Sarah on it. And then you picked up Sarah from
The original.
following us round.
Yep.
I thought you were holding my arm then.
No.
Pretty good as well when
Yeah.
it got touched up there, wasn't it? At the same time.
Exactly the same.
You both
And
priest
the priest was standing there.
Yeah.
That was good. That.
I've never seen this place. I just want to make sure everybody knows. I didn't even know this place existed. I had no idea I was even coming out with you guys tonight. And to be taken the moment that Jamie went, "Do you want to have a sit down here?" and the mail as clear as day said, "Don't." And I looked and I said, "What is underneath this?" And then as I looked, in my mind's eye, I saw the chapel stand in front of me, and I was like, "Holy moly, this is a chapel!" And just the look, the look on Jamie's face was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And I didn't tell you anything at
I knew
all. We
nothing.
kept it quiet. The same with what did you think of the first part where we actually went to that grave with the two children in it? And you said a 3-year-old. There was a ring of 3.
The ring of 3. Two brothers, 3 rings. And then to be shown that and to walk to the grave and actually have it confirmed on their epitaph on their grave.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And then the other where we've just been.
Yeah.
That was strange. See, I saw...
You just touched my hand.
No.
No.
The
nobody
back of
did.
my back.
No.
Okay.
Stood here
This
with
is
me
Sarah.
Is it?
on my hip.
This is what I
Sarah's
felt.
with us.
I know it's a description for everyone else. You know the way like 'cause we're a couple anyway, and you get somebody who just puts their arms on the hip
Around
like
your-
that, and just
around
like
your
as if they're going
back,
just to comfort you,
Sarah.
Yeah.
and that's what I just felt then. So if that was Sarah, thank you,
Well, that's
Sarah.
twice
Yeah.
now I should say that you've felt that.
I've had it twice now, yeah.
My
So-
hand was on my hip, all this my own
Yeah.
hip.
So my opinion of tonight is unbelievable. I don't have to say anymore because you have all said it for me. What a night. I thought, like I said earlier on, I thought we were going to come here and it was just going to be a little mini investigation with nothing happening. But I shouldn't have known better because Shell's with us.
I thought I was coming for a brew.
Well,
We
you
need
can
that
come for a
brew
brew if you
now.
want. You're going to come and have a brew?
Come on.
Have a brew, let's go.
Right, so James back in the studio. Well, you missed out, mate. And I'll see you later on.
Well, James, that was a night to remember at the secret location.
Absolutely, yeah. It sounded really, really good fun. We're definitely going to have to go back, aren't we?
Oh, 100%. I mean, what we had on the night, we never expected that at all.
Yeah.
And even, you know, Shell, Marie, and Mr. Shell didn't even expect it neither.
And you know what? The just going back to the earlier in the investigation where you was kind of feeling uneasy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What did that feel like for you?
Well, it's strange. It was like, you know, you could feel the atmosphere changing. You could feel that you weren't alone.
Yeah.
I know there was 4 of us, but if you know what I mean, you weren't alone. You felt that you were being watched. You felt that it's a strange. It was just one of those feelings that there's something not right.
There's almost something there, kind of thing. Yeah, because you're a naturally kind of skeptical person, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you'll hear it. You've heard it where we try and think logically at the same time, because we're out in the open. You're going to get different kinds of noises. And we did look at them logically, but there was some things in there that night that we cannot explain.
Well, next we've got a very special guest joining us. This is somebody who I've known for quite a few years now, and is a member of our paranormal investigation group, GhostQuest. Now, if you listen to the show regularly, you may have heard us speaking a little bit a couple of weeks back when we did our panel discussion with GhostQuest when they were celebrating their 10-year anniversary. But I'm really pleased to have her on the line tonight. It's Liz is a paranormal investigator, a spiritualist medium, clairvoyant, an all-round psychic phenomena. So how are you, Liz?
I'm all right, thank you very much, James.
Good. And have you been up to anything fun since we last spoke? No. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's a conversation ended there, isn't it? Because I know you've obviously you've been a member of GhostQuest for well, I think is it 10 years you've been part? Have you been part of the group?
10 years,
yeah. But aside from GhostQuest, you're also involved with. I know you do platform readings and personal readings and everything such as that. So just out of interest, for anyone who doesn't know what a medium is, how would you describe what mediumship is?
Mediumship is able to converse with the spirit side of the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Just conversing with spirit, putting it plainly.
So do you, when you kind of, obviously you I know you went to kind of development classes for that, and thinking back to when you was younger, what was your first experience you can remember of where you thought you kind of encountered spirit?
That I would have known it was a spirit.
Yeah.
I would say when I was about 14. And it wasn't very nice what I saw.
Oh, you've got to tell us.
No, it frightened the flaming life out of me, I'm being honest with you. But being a mousy 14-year-old, I thought at the time it was lads messing around on a bike on each other's shoulders, and it turned out it wasn't.
So what was it you actually saw?
It was a dark November night. Massive big playing field. At the back of that was a bit of the airport and then the river. Yeah.
And just for listeners, you live in Hale, don't you?
Yeah. At the time, I lived in Spee.
Right.
So, anyway, there's the river. And there was 3 of us, and we heard this very loud whistling noise. So, and then we seen smoke in the distance, like as if it was on the river. But then it started coming closer. And it really moved fast. Ooh. And then there was all like black holes in it and whatever. And I mean, it was massive. It was well over 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
And it was freezing cold. It went really ice cold to the point you couldn't move. And then it hit the fence and just disappeared.
Wow.
And we thought, what was that? Anyway, being gobby, we thought it was lads messing around. And we were shouting, come on, whatever. Anyway, next day, it done it again. And it started flying across the field.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, no. And next minute, I looked, and my 2 friends were legging it up the road away from me. I was on my own.
Yeah.
And I was rooted. I was frozen to the spot. I couldn't move. And it hit the fence and just disappeared. Well, I run across the road then to these houses that the policemen used to live in them. There were police houses.
Yeah.
Banging on this sergeant's door, who wasn't very nice to the local kids. But I thought, oh, he'd give me a wallop across the head and tell me to go home.
Yeah.
And he comes to the door, and I was crying. I told him, and he actually walked me and saw me to the corner.
Did he?
Very quietly, and he said, "Now go straight home."
It's a really.
And I thought, ooh.
It's a very interesting thing, though. And what do you think it actually was? Because it doesn't sound like a kind of apparition of something, does it?
No, it was. I read up on it later on.
Yeah.
Because I moved away not long after, and I was away for years. And I read up on it, and there was a thing around the golf course in Walton Golf Course, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And there used to be this cloud thing, which was a very negative, apparition that used to be seen on certain occasions. And, not nice things happened to certain people who got enveloped in this cloud and things like that, But the description of it fitted what we saw. And, I mean, it wasn't just me. There was 3 of us saw it.
Yeah.
So...
It makes you wonder if it's some kind of, like, astral thing or something like that, really.
Yeah.
It's obviously not it doesn't sound like it's, the apparition of a person or anything, does it?
No. Very, very negative. It wasn't very nice at all.
So just out of interest, Liz, obviously I know you live in Hale now, and that's a very hugely historic area, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
And have you kind of picked anything up around that area?
Yeah. There's a lot. Well, one local pub in particular is very haunted.
Yeah.
And I was doing readings one time upstairs in their function room. And it was in February, just after Valentine's Day, because they still had the balloons up, the Valentine's balloons on the frame. The like helium balloon.
Yeah.
And I'm reading away to this woman. And next minute I could see the balloons all fluttering on the frame. I just think, oh, draft, whatever,
Yeah.
Anyway, a couple of the balloons come off. One floated up to the ceiling, and the other one, the string on it was perfectly straight, and it went. Now there's the spirit of a little girl up in that room, and it was perfectly straight, the string on the balloon, and it went right round the room, and then come across to where I was sat with the woman.
Yeah.
And just stopped in between us. And I said, "Oh, thank you very much."
Yeah.
And the balloon just went up into the air then. Yeah, honestly, the poor woman was terrified.
I bet she was, yeah.
She run. Yeah. Just don't want to hear no more. She said, "Look, she went." Yeah.
But it is. It's a very. I mean, I go down there quite regular, down to Hale Head. You know where the lighthouse is.
Oh yeah.
And go for a walk down there, and it's such a beautiful place. Liz, I have to ask you. Obviously, I know you spoke a little bit about your first experiences. You obviously do paranormal investigations with ourselves, and you do readings as well. What for anyone who's not had a reading? What is it like? What's the experience like for people?
Well, each one differs, I suppose, but the way I do my readings, you get both what it says on the cards, so to speak, and any spirit that comes through. And that's got nothing to do with the cards, so it's just spirit coming through to me. Yeah. And I'll tell them who I've got stood in front of me, names if they give them, and dates, times, whatever. Even sing songs sometimes,
Yeah. And do you find that, I mean, I've had a few readings before, and I've always found it interesting that sometimes there's people come through who I expect, but other times I've had, family members come through who I didn't know who they were at the time when they gave me, the medium gave me the name. But then when I went and spoke to family members, I actually found out it was, a relative, a great-grandfather who I'd never met before.
Yeah. That's true. That happens quite a lot because we can't make people come through. They'll only come through if they want to. Yeah. And you get some people sometimes and they go, "No, I don't remember that name." And it's sometimes you can sort of say, "No, I'll take that back." it belongs to someone else, you know? And other times it won't go. And you think, no, I've got to hold it. And you'll say, you know, can you go home and find out? And I can guarantee they'll get in touch and say, oh, yeah, I asked whoever, you know, within the family, and they said, yeah, you know, such and such was the family member. So, that does happen.
So, thinking kind of about, you know, paranormal investigations you've done, I know you've done loads. What's some really great memories you've got of paranormal investigation? You know, kind of what locations have you been to, or experiences that really stick in your mind?
That stick in my mind. Well, one of them you were involved.
Oh, right, go on.
Do you remember the sea lion in the big
hall? Yes, indeed, the thing on the floor.
Jamie was involved in that one as well.
Yes.
And I thought I was seeing things.
Yeah.
And I thought, no way. And then you come in and said about the sea, and I thought, I'd just seen that.
It was, you know, the best way to describe it really is, if you remember that night, we was at Mill Street, weren't we? And we were in the cellar, and there was something that came. I mean, we've been talking on the show, I know you listen to the show, about the shadow that we've all seen. And it was almost a little bit like that. It was like a shape of something that was like moving, but it just like looked like it had like flappy arms at the side. Do you remember? And it came under the table, and I was terrified.
Yeah.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then when we went upstairs into the classroom, Jamie actually seen it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Something of that description coming across the floor to him.
Yeah, that was a very odd one because I don't think I've seen it since.
I think it made an appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice afterwards back in the cellar again, but it's never really. It's not been around since. You know, so.
I know you've been to Wepper Park before, because we were speaking to Lynn Murphy from Wepper Park a couple of weeks back, and you've had a few experiences there, haven't you?
Oh yeah, where the ruins were, there was you could hear all the men in the trees.
Yeah.
And you were like, where are all these voices coming from? And you could literally hear them all in the trees shouting and, like, you know, making charging noises and what, and you could hear horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very strange.
And I've not been to Wepper before, and I'm guessing it's not in an area where you get, you know, nearby noise that could be kind of misinterpreted as being that. Then no.
Sorry, what?
I was just saying I've not been to Wepper before, but I'm guessing that there isn't anything nearby which would make a sound that you could interpret as that. It must have been quite a distinctive sound.
Yeah, it's very distinctive. So you know it can't be anything else.
Yeah.
You know, you realize, whoa, you know, and you know straight away that you've heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was and lights in the trees, loads of lights, and you were like, whoa, it's really very strange.
Yeah.
And then noises coming from around the bits of ruined walls, and when you look, there's nothing there, and, you know, it was very good.
Well, I don't know whether you remember this. You know, well, you will remember it, actually. Do you remember about 2 years ago we went to the Theatre Royal in Bacup?
Yeah.
And we were on the stage, and the lights were all off, and I'm sure that you and I saw something on the balcony, didn't we? Do you remember? And we took a picture.
That's right, yeah.
And we went up to the seat, and it was much colder on the seat. And that's something that sticks in my mind, because it was like something that went across, didn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And then we took a picture, and even on the actual picture that we took, there was some kind of light anomaly, wasn't it, in the area where we'd been sensing that?
Where we were, yeah.
Yeah. So
it was very strange.
Thinking about kind of other places you've been to, what's kind of your favourite locations that you've been to?
Well, apart from Mill Street.
Yeah.
The place we're not allowed to name.
Yes.
That was very good.
Yeah.
An amazing night. Lots going on. Lots, you know, seen, heard, etc.
Yeah. And what kind of things did you hear about that? I mean, obviously, I know you can't name this location, but kind of what was the activity that you had?
Oh, a horrible woman's voice. She was nasty, a nasty, nasty woman. And I saw her briefly in a sort of a doorway type of thing. And she was a big woman.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't slight or anything. She was quite a hefty woman, you know.
Yeah.
And not one to be argued with. And she wasn't nice at all. She meant business, and she didn't want us there.
And what kind of stuff did she do?
More growling and snarling at us, you know, and muttering under her breath.
Yeah.
But she knew, although she wouldn't back down, because she knew she could. We were stronger than her, but she still would not sort of back down. She still would not let down her defence at all, you know, to say hi, hello, goodbye, or nothing, you know. She just did not want us there. She was hostile the whole time.
And do you find that with spirit people who are like that? Because I know, I mean, I've encountered a few things which have certainly been unpleasant. I don't think there's any way they can't actually do anything to you, can they? But they just end up kind of making you feel a bit uneasy. Is that right?
Unless they throw something.
Yeah.
Which I've had done to me.
Have you?
Yeah, shot glass, an old one that the people didn't even know was still there. Yeah, oh God, it caught me right across my knuckles.
Did you get injured?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it aimed it at me.
At least you didn't hit your head anyway.
Yeah, well, I saw something coming and I lifted my hands up and it got my hand.
Oh.
Otherwise, it would have got me on the head. Yeah, it was a shock glass.
Oh, God.
Yeah, thrown at me.
So what do you think about kind of, you know, Ouija boards and things like that? Do you use those often in your kind of work, or?
I'll use them. I will go with the flow.
Yeah.
They don't frighten me as long as I open it properly and I close it properly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just left. Because you're leaving it wide open.
Yeah,
and do
you think that's where there's a lot of the problems with Ouija boards come from? When people mess around with them, you hear about kind of, somebody was at college and they did one and then all these things happened. I've always thought it's because what they've done is they've not opened, whenever we do an investigation, we always, put protection on. And is that because they've not done that, basically? They've just opened it up?
They've left themselves wide open, basically.
Yeah.
And they've not closed down.
So Liz, if somebody's listening who they feel as though they are sensitive to spirit, or they've had experiences and thought, you know what, I actually want to try and develop as a medium, what would your advice be for them?
Try and contact the psychic circle, development circle.
Yeah.
They have them in the spiritualist churches or in community halls, dotted all over the place.
And what kind of stuff do you work on in the development circles?
Well, it's based on a Christian gathering, most of them. And basically, it's just tuning people in to what most people have got. Using your own senses, waking them up, basically. Yeah. And, they'll teach you, it's about not doubting yourself when things, like your gut feelings and things like that. Mm-hmm. And people go, oh, no. But, it's a sense, and it's telling you, and you should listen to it.
Yeah. And and did you start via that route kind of when you was becoming a medium, yeah?
Pardon?
Did you start via that route when you was becoming a medium?
Well, I was already there, apparently, but I was just wild, so I had to be curtailed.
I don't think they did a good job.
That was the word she used, harnessed.
Harnessed, right. Okay.
Yeah, I had to be harnessed.
Channeling your energies in the right direction, I think, is the best way to put it.
I had to learn how to behave and not go mad.
And what would you say the most challenging thing is with mediumship that you encounter when you're doing your work?
I like skeptics.
Yeah.
I love them. I don't know. I think. Oh, I don't know. I think the worst thing that could happen if you're in the middle of someone going hysterical, because then you've got a load of people you're trying to calm down.
Yeah.
I don't like hysteria.
Yeah. Have you ever had that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to stop everyone from running.
Yeah, it's, and I think as well, you know, I've seen it on Paranormal Investigations where something happens, and it can kind of almost be like Jamie's kind of looking at me and nodding. It can kind of be like a chain reaction, can't it? And you almost see one person go, then another person. I think, you know, all us three regularly, when we do our paranormal nights, take groups. And I think one of the things we're always aware of is making sure that we're keeping a level head, really, aren't we, throughout that, you know?
Yeah, it's because it's dangerous, really, isn't it, when you're doing an invest and then, you know, all hell breaks loose, so to speak, and you know, you're trying to stop people from running because they can hurt themselves, can't they? You know.
Absolutely, yeah. Have you ever seen anybody being taken over by a spirit in an investigation?
Seen anybody what?
Anybody being taken over by a spirit in an investigation? Yeah. And what was that like?
It was in Mill Street.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and she's never been back since, God love her. Yeah, she won't set foot.
I'm not surprised. Was it quite scary?
She was terrified. And yeah, she was, we were upstairs in the classrooms. And there was a few of us on the table. And, yeah, we were just doing general, you know, calling out and whatnot. And next minute, her voice did change. And she slammed her fist down on the table, and I thought she was messing. Yeah. And I went, oh, you know. Yeah. Not mentioning her name. And I looked and I thought, why is her lips went funny as well, you know? And then next minute, the poor woman next to her got shoved. And she was slamming her fist down on the table. And I thought, oh, dear God, here we go. And she sat back down on the chair, and I thought, well, you know, if she gets hold of me, she'll slaughter me. So I had to sit on her. Literally had to sit on her.
I've got quite a mental image now of this.
And even though I'm a medium and all the rest of it, I always do question, is this real?
Yeah, of course.
You know, you've got to. And then I looked and her eyes rolled to the back of her head and I knew she wasn't messing. Yeah. And then I had to sort of call her back, and chase the other thing away.
Yeah. And do you know what it was that had done it?
Pardon?
Do you know what it was that had kind of...
it was the gentleman upstairs.
Right.
Him.
Yeah.
And he was really bad-tempered.
Yeah.
And she kept coming back and she was saying, you know, help me. And then she'd go again. And so it took a while anyway, got her back. But she was really shook up.
Oh, not surprised.
And we got her downstairs and we even heard the footsteps coming down the stairs after us. So me being brave said, quick, get out.
And then you all ran off.
Being the brave person I am.
It's quite a scary experience though, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, she went home. She's never been back since.
I'm not surprised. I don't think I would if that happened to me. Liz, listen, thank you so much for taking time out your evening to join us. It's been lovely. And obviously, you know, you've been on the show before, you've been on tonight, and no doubt you'll be on again on when we start being able to go and do our investigations properly again.
Oh, fingers crossed.
You know. But thanks a lot, Liz. Take care.
Okay.
And
you, James.
Speak to you soon. Much love.
Much love to you. Bye now. Bye, Jamie.
So that was Liz. Always great to have a chat with Liz, and surprisingly, luckily she didn't manage to swear once, did she? Which is good.
I know, that was the biggest shock of it all, really. And she sounded really posh.
Yeah, I think she's been having secret elocution lessons, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
you know what? We said elocution lessons, and I said elocution lessons. I said, lessons. Living by the example there, am I? It's been a really interesting show tonight, hasn't it? Some really great interviews, as always.
We certainly have. You know, what I mean, Stu was good at the beginning there. Liz was unusually good.
Stop being awful. This, I know she is going to kill you for this, and rightly so.
Sorry, Liz.
And also you know, the third part of your paranormal challenge. Now, just for the listeners to be aware of, we have actually recorded another paranormal challenge, my paranormal challenge, but because we're so busy this week, we've not been able to put that on, but we are going to put that into another show. And we've also been doing some other interviews as well, haven't we, which we've got coming up.
We have, yeah. We've got. I can't really say who we've got because that would be a big giveaway. But we've got quite a few
interviews.
You
get your words out in the end.
You can tell it's coming to the end of the show, can't you? Yeah, we've got quite a few interviews coming up. We've got they're all lined up now, and we've got the dates when they're going to be talked to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that because we've got some good names on there.
It is, and I think one of the things that's quite exciting is that some of the interviews we record, obviously when people are free to interview them.
Yeah.
So we get to hear some, and then they're really exciting, and then we can't, like tonight. There's a couple we've done, and we think, oh, we really want to put that in, but we just haven't got the time, have we?
No,
We've only got a limited time.
The good thing is they understand that as well when we explain that to them. And the funniest thing is we've got a couple from America soon as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be some late nights to try and interview them as well. We've got to try and organise times.
That's going to be quite interesting with the time difference there. Maybe maybe they might work their times to fit with us rather than the other way around.
I hope so.
But you know what? I have to say, I think, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's been great that so many people have been so willing to just get involved and support us, but also just to talk about what their passion is and what they enjoy doing.
Yeah. And it's lovely to hear what they do, from their point of view. I mean, we know as a paranormal investigators what we do, but it's nice to see what they do from other groups and their perspective, and you learn a lot from them as well.
Of course you do, yeah. You pick up loads of tips, don't you? And I think I always I said earlier on in the show that it'd be great if we just did one big investigation together at some point, wouldn't it?
Well, once COVID's gone, we can always sort that out and get a few of them on.
Indeed.
And have a nice, an investigation or a little bit of a talk around the table as well. Have a conversation with them.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Once again, folks, it's been lovely talking to you, sharing our paranormal adventures with you again.
Yeah. And please be safe, be careful, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next show.
Take care.